In 2002, director Richard Linklater cast a 6-year-old boy. Over the next 12 years, they made movie history.
You guys ready to have some fun?
Well, I'm proud to say that this is the film of local filmmaker Richard Linklater.
Mm-hmm.
I like Richard Linklater. He actually told me to fuck off one time, but no, he didn't do that. He's actually a nice guy.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to actually say that I'm not going to say that I'm friends with the guy.
He's not friends, but he is a nice guy.
But I've talked to him like several times. He's one of those guys that no matter how small you are, somehow he just finds time to sit back and just say, "Hey, man, how's it going?"
Yeah.
Couldn't say that. I can't say that this kind of success should come to somebody better, man. And I'm very proud of what he's done with this movie right here. The movie is Boyhood, and Boyhood is making a lot of news because while being what I feel like is a good movie, it's also a movie that did something that a lot of people say, to hell with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They filmed a movie for 12 years. 12 years. And the movie is Boyhood. And in Boyhood, Richard Linklater had always wanted to do this thing where he said, I want to actually tell a story by narrative where I have the same actor who starts in kindergarten and works his way up to adulthood when he's about to go off to college. Now, like I said, a lot of people would say, fuck that.
Right. We ain't got that kind of time.
Yeah, ain't got that kind of time. Ain't got that kind of money.
And what if you get 6 years in and your actor decides they don't want to act anymore? They're not available. What do you do then?
Exactly. What if you die?
Right.
What
if one of your actors die?
What if one of your actors die?
I guess you write it into the script.
Shit, better make that. I guess that shit just ends abruptly. and at what you do? Let's just say this kid died at like 12. You say, and he went on to successfully attend college. The end.
Well, I wonder, you start with this boy. What is he like? I can't remember if he's 8 or 11. He's pretty young.
When he starts out?
Yeah.
Oh, man, no, he's younger than that. This kid is 6 years old.
He's 6.
Yeah. And the kid's name is L.R. Coltrane. And Richard Linklater, this is it's a mixture of people who are professional actors and this kid. I mean, the kid is 6, so yeah, you never heard of him before.
Yeah, you don't know what kind of actor this kid is going to turn into. Or, he could have become a drug addict.
He could have become an asshole.
Yeah.
Just fuck your movie. I don't want to do it no more. He could have, you know what? A kid like that, I mean, I'm glad it didn't happen. Had that been me, let's just say the moment I turned 13, 14, I would have been like, you know what? This film, it ain't going no more until I get $1 million.
Exactly.
You know what? Well, we got Don Cheadle to play your ass right now. Put that motherfucker in some Oshkosh B'gosh, have him stand on his knees with some shoes underneath it. The Corey Coleman story. Hey, work for Iron Man. I was just playing. No. Fuck that. Hey, you know what? I guess we're going to hey, I guess we'll call this shit 14 years.
Well, I just wonder, okay, maybe you write 4 different scripts and you just shoot all of them and just hope by the end, it's all editing. So then you just shuffle together what you got.
Yeah. I mean,
it could end up being called Sisterhood or Fatherhood.
I want $2 million. I'm holding this movie hostage until y'all fucking pay me.
All right, cut. We're gonna just shoot a funeral scene for this kid.
Or better yet, you know what? Bring in Shaquisha. All of it. Wait a minute. Let me see. I'm inspired. All of a sudden, your character gets a sex change. The first 14-year-old boy to get a sex change in the middle. Wait, you can't do it. I can fuck that. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. But no, in other words, this movie is taking a big gamble. And it's a gamble that paid off. Miraculously, they were able to keep this kid throughout the whole 12 years.
Yeah.
And they shot just sporadically throughout that time. And they followed this kid up until he was actually 19 years old. Meanwhile, they were able to bring in longtime favorite of Richard Linklater, Ethan Hawke.
Right.
And also bring in Patricia Arquette. They play the parents of not only the young kid here whose name is Mason, but Richard Linklater has his daughter in the movie too.
Play the sister.
What's her name? L'Oreal Linklater
It wasn't Lorelai?
Lorelai, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Shit, thank God you were here. Just fuck that name off.
You name her after a shampoo.
After shampoo. Oh, what's her name? Bidal Sassoon. but yeah, so he really brought in.
And I guess she had to be there. He's like, Dad, I don't want to shoot the movie. You gonna shoot the goddamn movie? Or I'm taking your cell phone away.
Oh, fuck you, Dad. What you say? We can do 20 more takes of this shit. It's funny. Some kids, like my dad used to wake me up to do the lawn. Boy, wake up. Come do this lawn. Richard Linklater, he's like, girl, wake up. Come shoot this movie.
You got 6 a.m. call in the morning.
Should put them donuts down. Get over here. You fucked that up already. You slept too late. Come on. But the thing is with having actors that he loves playing, this new kid, people that you grow with, his daughter in the film, it's a very personal feeling film, and it's a very honest feeling film. Yeah,
that was what stuck out to me the most.
Yeah, and you watch this now. Let me just tell you right now, the movie's 3 hours long. Today when I saw it, I got in there at noon. I left about around right at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I guess it's just a little under 3 hours with all the trailers.
I had trailers.
Yeah,
so I had all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a long movie, but I say this because it's fascinating to see these kids grow on screen. And while you're watching that, your mind is so preoccupied seeing what stage of their life they're going to take next that you really don't notice that 3 hours. When you see them, I mean, they're tiny kids. The ones in kindergarten and the other is like a girl that's barely in elementary school. Their voices are small. They're little people. And when you're watching that, even knowing going in that they filmed this movie in a span of 12 years, they're so small that you just don't see it. I mean, the movie starts out with them looking like this.
Before it gets dark. Goodbye, yard. Goodbye, crepe myrtle. Goodbye, mailbox. Goodbye, box of stuff Mommy won't let us take with us, but we don't want to throw away. Goodbye, house. I'll never like Mommy as much for making us move.
Samantha, why don't you say goodbye to that little horseshit attitude? We're not taking that in the car.
Goodbye, old lady. Listen to rock music and rides a motorcycle.
You know what? I like that kind of single mom. Shut the fuck up.
Well, that's the funny thing is, Lorelai Linklater, her at least her character, when she's little, she's kind of a little cunt.
Man, she
becomes a teenager. She's kind of a little bitch too. Like she never quite became that sweet girl.
No, man. She did grow up, and
I mean, she was sweeter. She wasn't, a pain in the ass, but she was like.
No, man, that little girl, she kind of a little bitch through the movie, man. The whole movie, like when Patricia Arquette, she's a single mom, and she's doing her best for her kids. She's sacrificing a lot of nights hanging out.
Yeah.
She's sacrificing a lot of dates. And the kid, this little girl is just up there, hey, mommy, I don't like you as much. And Patricia Arquette even says, I got to move to get a better job so I can take care of you. And the little girl's like, I'm not moving. I don't give a fuck. It's for you, baby. I don't give a fuck. I ain't moving. She's like, I'm gonna kill this mother. That's why I love Patricia Arquette. There was moments where she's looking at it like, you know what? I wish I could fucking just kill you.
These
right
cameras
now.
weren't on.
Yeah.
If we'd have black, I'd have slapped you across the room.
Slapped
already.
your ass across the room. But Patricia Arquette is great in the movie. She don't take no shit in the film. And they only gave me 2 clips. I was hoping that I would have a comparison and contrast kind of clip to where you could see how the kids had grown up.
Oh, they didn't give you that?
They didn't give me one clip of these kids as adults. But
it's funny because the boy, when he's young, he looks like there's some scenes where you look at his face, he looks like Scarlett Johansson.
Man, when this boy is Martin, I feel so weird because when this boy is young, he looks like a little chubby ass Scarlett Johansson.
Uh-huh. But then when he's older, he looks like a really tall Peter Dinklage.
You know what? When he gets older, I'll tell you what it looks like to me. When he gets older, Martin, he still looks like Scarlett Johansson with a sex change. I'm like, actually, he looks like if Scarlett Johansson and Peter Dinklage fucked and had a baby. That's right. You get me. Damn, you're right, man. Because that's the thing about looking at this kid, too. He's so cute when he's so little because he looks just like fucking Scarlett Johansson. You think, man, this kid's going to grow up to be beautiful. And then you look at him like, no, you kind of got that fucking gigantic.
I think he's still a handsome guy.
No, he is. The thing with the movie is that they show you how he goes to that awkward stage where he gets like giganticism of the chin and shit,
Yeah.
And then he gets out that Bigfoot puppy stage and then he becomes a handsome guy.
They both go through an awkward stage.
They do.
There's a point with her where she's like, when she's in that middle range, you're like, oh, sweetheart, you were so cute when you were younger. And then later when she gets older, it's like, okay, she's starting to look kind of hot.
Because by the time the movie's over with, she is an adult.
Yeah.
Lorelai Linklater, she's 21, 22. I mean, she's about to leave college,
Right.
I think. And this guy's just going in. And you're right, man. By the time he grows, you see this little kid. This little innocent kid, and you get to see this guy grow up to be pretty much a fucking rock star, man. You know, but one of them old whiny ass rock stars.
Yeah,
you know,
pretty much, yeah.
woe is me. He's like, yeah, whatever, Corey. You know, you want to fuck this.
Yeah, he looks so much like Peter Dinklage right there.
Yeah, he does. He does. Peter Dinklage with a real man's body. He's like, this could be you, Peter.
Shut up.
You want this body, don't you? My body. Don't you wish you had my body? But I do have a clip here where they are a little bit older. Now, you see them as they are little. Let me show you one more time. You see them as they are little kids right here.
I like Mommy as much for making us move.
Samantha, why don't you say goodbye to that little horse shit attitude, okay?
Cut the shit if I leave your little ass here. But while they're not adults yet, you do get to see, like right here, one girl is barely on the cusp of junior high, and you do see the little kid. He's getting to that stage now where he's you can tell he's going to be a little rebel. And also, this clip goes to show just how great Ethan Hawke is, man.
Man, I can't speak enough about that because I was like, you know what? By the time
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Let's watch this clip, and I'll let you follow up on that. Hold on.
All right.
Talk to me. Samantha, how was your week? I don't know, Dad, it was kind of tough. Billy and Ellen broke up, and Ellen's kind of mad at me because she saw me talking to Billy in the cafeteria. And you remember that sculpture I was working on? Well, it was a unicorn, and the horn broke off, so now it's a zebra, okay? But I still think I'm going to get an A, right? Mason, how was your week? Well, Dad, you know, it's kind of tough. Joey's kind of a jerk. Actually, he stole some cigarettes from his mom. He wanted me to smoke them, but I said no because I knew what a hard time you had quitting smoking, Dad. How about that? Is that so hard?
Dad, these questions are kind of hard to answer.
What is so hard to answer? About what sculpture are you making?
It's abstract.
Okay, that's good. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were even interested in abstract art.
I'm not. They make us do it.
But Dad, I mean, why is it all on us though? You know, what about you? How was your week? You know, who do you hang out with? Do you have a girlfriend? What have you been up to?
Fuck you.
So we should just let it happen more naturally, right? That's what you're saying. Okay, that's what we'll do. Starting now.
He's not really a deadbeat dad. He's not really an asshole. He's just one of those guys who wants to be a musician and can't grow the fuck up.
Right, at first. It takes him a while. Yeah, he comes on at first like he's the deadbeat dad, won't live up to his responsibility. Or you're trying to be a musician when you be a teenager the rest of your life. He's a fully fleshed out character.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
I mean, by the end of this, I just thought, like, man, he'll never, bigger movies will come out. He'll never get recognized by the Academy for this. But I would totally nominate Ethan Hawke for an Oscar for his performance in this movie. He was just so genuine and so real. And I loved him all through it.
Ethan Hawke, I've always loved Ethan Hawke, and I know y'all say, "Oh, that Training Day shit." No, see, the problem with Training Day, y'all saw him, y'all thought he was just a little pussy ass pushover. He's getting pushed around by Denzel, and y'all kind of held that on him. But y'all don't know how great an actor Ethan Hawke is. Look at him; y'all making him cry. He's trying to tell y'all how good an actor. He's like, "I really am." Listen to Corey. I really am a good actor. He's gotten so many roles where the movies haven't been that big, and he's kind of been overlooked. There's a movie that you guys need to see out there called Brooklyn's Finest. The movie is not that good, but Ethan Hawke is a powerhouse in that film. You never saw that movie, did you? Man, Ethan Hawke is great. And you watch this movie, him and Patricia Arquette, they're both wonderful in this film, man. And listen, I know there's one critic who said that it's easy to get caught up in just the procedure that this movie went through to be made. Because again, this movie was a big risk to the point where, excuse me, to the point where Richard Linklater even told Ethan Hawke, he's like, "Look, if I die, it's not like take care of my kids or make sure my wife's like. It's like if I die, finish the movie." And Ethan Hawke was like, "Fuck, sure, okay." but the other thing that they did with this movie that was a big risk, there's a contract. I forgot what the contract is called, but there's a contract that exists to where you can't keep somebody under a law rather. You can't keep somebody under a contract for 7 years.
Yeah.
So, and this movie's going on 12.
Yeah.
So it was a huge risk for this. And a lot of people are giving this movie a respect for just taking such a chance, and it has paid off. Now, there are a couple of things in the movie that don't work for me, at least.
Sure.
I think that there's some people. Again, the movie feels a little bit too personal at times by bringing in by trying to bring in real people. There's a point they bring in some teenagers doing when Mason is like 13.
Yeah.
And those kids cannot act, man. There's some parts in this movie where people cannot act.
Sure. It does happen. I mean, not to the point of so much being, I don't know, I wasn't terribly distracted by it, but I did notice it. But there's just some jumps, at least time-wise, in editing, which I guess is just like, hey, it's just a product of what it is. It couldn't be helped.
Yeah.
Like, not every transition is smooth.
No, it's not. But you know what? That I didn't mind. Because it was those transitions that caught me off guard. Because I love that. Once I got used to that kid being a certain age, I looked at him like, God damn, that boy grew up.
Oh, I know.
I was talking to the screen like somebody's uncle. I'm like, damn, Mason, you got big, boy. I was trying to give him a quote on the screen and shit. Hey, boy.
It's funny because I have to keep reminding myself, like, when this starts, you saw Patricia Arquette in that first scene. That's like one of the first scenes in the movie. And it took me a while to recognize that it's her. And I was like, man, that chick, she looks like the Patricia Arquette I used to drool over. But I've seen Patricia Arquette lately. She don't look like, and as time goes by, I'm like, oh, that's from 12 years ago.
Hey, Martin, I was about to say 12 years. Yeah. You keep forgetting. That's another thing.
Like, not only do the kids, change over time.
And it's a movie where the actors have to put themselves out there because changes happen with people over 12 years. And right here, that's Patricia Arquette kind of fine right there.
Oh, yeah.
That ass gets big by the end of the movie. I'm not even trying to be mean.
No. Well, in the middle was when she really got big. And then later, by the end, she was kind of, somewhere in between.
Yeah, it got to a point she was big enough she was walking like this and kind of got that heavy walk. And
yet Ethan Hawke did not age until like the last scene of the movie.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I don't know what this guy is if he's doing yoga, he's got some special blackberry juice he's drinking, but something. He is just staying the same age up until the last scene when he really actually needed to be older.
He's lifting weights all through the movie. Look at him, he's like trying to lift that weight right now.
And even in that last scene, I was like, are you sure you didn't just put some gray in his hair?
But even, at the last part of the movie, even then, I was wondering, is that punch he has in his stomach? Did somebody just put a blanket under there, a pillow?
Yeah, but his face was a little fuller, too.
It was a little, yeah, you're right. And he was a little gray, and he got like a fucking really messed up mustache by the end of the movie. And you know what? You look at, he's not perfect. But he is a father. He needs to catch up. But you can tell he loves his kids.
Yeah.
And and the kids love him. He is invested. I got to give credit to some other performances in the movie, though. There are some performances in the movie where these people flip on a fucking dime. And don't let this movie think. Don't think that because you see these people walking around and this, you got a cute kid and mom is moving everywhere and they got fucking stuffed animals they're playing with and all that. This movie takes some really tense, dark turns, man. This movie deals with alcoholism, spousal abuse, and that's the thing about.
You mean because Patricia Arquette kept marrying my dad over and over and over again?
Man, shit got scary.
Yeah,
shit. I mean, Patricia Arquette. I don't want to spoil too much because you really do need to experience this movie without knowing how some of these people change. But she puts herself in some scary situations, and these actors who are in these roles are incredible. It's called Boyhood, but it's really kind of three things going on. It is about this kid. It's the world and especially his family and his mother seen through his eyes in certain parts. And it's called Boyhood, but it's about life.
It is.
I mean, it's just about life is great here and life is really shitty right here. And it's brutally honest about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
and sometimes something is real bad and then it's not. And then things go kind of mostly smoothly, and then, bad shit happens again.
But what I liked about that, when the bad shit happens, it doesn't feel falsely emotional or dramatic.
Right.
These kids, they deal with it like kids. Bad shit happens, and they're like, man, that fucking sucks, but what am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a kid. What the fuck am I supposed to do,
And I would also say, like, if you have a child who's, like, close to graduating and going to college, you will bawl your eyes out in this movie because it hits home.
Man, Patricia Arquette gives a speech in this movie. And this is how talented she is in this film. She gives a speech near the end that is both funny and it's meant to be kind of funny, but while you laughing, she gives this expression. You're like, Oh shit! I shouldn't be laughing at that. You know, it was really kind of heartfelt, man. Yeah. If I had one last complaint before I really give any big rating for this film, is that I can be forgiving of this. Technically, too, it's not always on top of things. There's a scene where Ethan Hawke and Lil Mason are walking. You know, they're like on Big Ben or something. They're walking through the woods, and they're far away. And I guess they couldn't really do this, the sound.
So they were dubbing over it, but
man,
you could tell their mouths weren't moving.
Man, those actors in the audio were having two different conversations. They weren't even trying to hide that shit.
I noticed that too.
It was almost, you look at Ethan Hawke, if you read his lips, you're like, God damn, this lip sync is off, ain't it? He's like, yeah, it is, daddy. I don't know what we're doing right now.
Kind of kept them in shadows to try to hide it. But.
Yeah, they were out there trying to stage it a certain way where they filmed it from the back and they would go behind trees and shit. And Ethan Hawke always had his face kind of turned like this, but every now and then he turned around. You can see that shit was not saying what the audio was saying. Yeah. Ain't even fucking trying. I guess the movie took 12 years to make. Obviously, there's going to be a point where you just say fuck it.
Right. You know? Right. Can I get you guys back to reshoot that? No.
Little LR has class. All right. You fucked with him enough this week, okay? I told you had him for this day. Leave him alone. But I know there's some people who say you can praise this movie too much just because, you know, you're in love with the filmmaking aspect of it. And I am. I am in love with the filmmaking aspect of it. I mean, this is truly inspired filmmaking right here. This is somebody who's not doing, this is not a gimmick for someone. This is not someone who's doing this to get cheap accolades. This is somebody that really wants to tell a story, and they had the great idea of making it seem authentic with the same actors throughout time. And if nothing else, I mean, even if this disjointed, or if the story feels disjointed to you, if nothing else, it's just incredible to see characters who grow, who don't have to be faked out by bringing in other actors who look nothing like them to be replaced as they become older. And this just made this world feel so much more real. I told you, I'm so much of a story person that if I seem like I'm going out of my, maybe I'm just gushing praise on this, and fuck it, too bad, because I am inspired by people who have this kind of inspirational work behind them, and I give this a better than sex. I feel like, it's when I say real filmmakers, that's what I've always said about Richard Linklater. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it because he's local. I'm not saying it because I've talked to the guy a couple of times. I really feel like this is somebody who has an idea, a genuine fucking idea, and be damned everything, I'm going to make it happen.
And yes, I mean, that's one of the best things about him is that he keeps making different movies. We talked about this the other week of like that crop of directors that he came up with. He seems to be the one who's willing to do several different things. And maybe he does something that doesn't work. Okay, he's going to do a completely different movie the next time.
Yeah.
And yeah. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy this worked. 3 hours is a bit much. It's a little much. It keeps me from giving it better than sex, but I will give it full price.
Okay. You know what, man? I can see that too, because at the end of the film, near the end of the movie, I was like, okay, he ain't growing no more.
Yeah.
You know, Mason ain't growing no more. You know, novelty's kind of wearing off right now. So, you know, it's time to wrap this shit up. I've been here for a while. You in college now.
Right.
Get the fuck on.
Right.
I was putting him out the house too. Get the fuck out, Mason. I'm tired of hearing you, man.
Why don't you say goodbye to that little horse shit attitude, okay? 'Cause we're not taking that in the car.